Once again, welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. We got Anton, B Next, Tawana, and myself, JI. Today we're going to be talking about entanglements. I know you guys are familiar with the story between Will and Jada. I'm going to play a little clip for you guys just in case, just to give you guys a little refresher as well.
Because this is your red table and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
Mm-hmm. She said she was in an entanglement. I just want to get my thoughts about when I first heard this video, when I saw this interview at the red table. I feel like Jada never really got over Tupac. I feel like when she got with Will, that Will was that nice guy. He was kind of like that rebound guy, and she just settled with him. I feel like I can't say if it was staged or not. I don't know if it was staged, but it's definitely a lot going on in there. But I just still think that Will wasn't a person that she was chasing or that she would chase. How you feel about it, Tawana?
You so wrong. You off. Like, I feel like that's completely off. Yes, okay, whatever her and Tupac had was obviously special, and I do think that they mutually had some feelings that's residual that got, that she openly talks about now. However, do I think that has anything to do with her connection to Will? Absolutely not. The problem with her and Will are they both have this interesting dynamic where they allow other people into their marriage, and it's been documented and talked about for years and years. This isn't the first time. The problem is the type of relationship that Jada decided to go into this time, where she dated this younger guy that she knew was going through a difficult time, and he ended up catching feelings for her that she really didn't foresee. And she didn't really play the rules the way her and Will normally play the rules. And so therefore some stuff happened out of their control. But I absolutely don't discredit anything Will and Jada's marriage, because I feel like what happens in their marriage happens in a lot of marriages around the world. I think that men and women cheat on each other all the time, or they have outside relationships, or they separate and they date outside of their relationship. I do not think that this is something that is so abnormal that she's unhappy in her marriage now, and we need to. That's the focal. So that's my spiel.
Hey, but Tawana, I want to say this. I think the problems started when they first started talking. I remember being young when they first started dating. I wasn't really thinking about them, but there was a time when everybody was celebrating like the life of Tupac. And I remember she was still saying things that was inappropriate about Tupac. Well, I can't remember if she was married or not, but it just seemed kind of odd. I really don't think that Will Smith from the start was the guy that she would actually want to be with, or that she would actually, Will wasn't the guy that would actually satisfy her in a way that she needed. So I think the problem, if we take it all the way back to the beginning, I think the problem was in the beginning. And I think that all the issues behind it came along with it because he wasn't that guy. How you feel about it, Nix?
I was annoyed watching it, like watching her tap dance, bro. I mean, just make it plain. I mean, I think it goes back to like, just Will, the type of person he is. He tried to make a joke out of it, but even he struggled to try to make light of the situation. Tawana mentioned like, hey, every relationship goes through their ups and downs, feeling needed, or, accidentally getting attracted to somebody, or just a friendship evolving into something else. But Jada was posturing, man. The thing is, she didn't make it plain. She made it seem like it was just something that just happened. But based on, as far as pulling the receipts, looking at the pictures, the way that she was able to reference him even by name, still using his nickname of Og, calling a grown man Og, it's like that part didn't sit well with me, because the fact is, like, I always say, make it plain. You're gonna own it, own the fact of what happened, and then just move on from. The thing is, we don't know approximately. I mean, even though she said, I can't remember the last time she spoke with him, Buddy was on the show. So the thing is, you can't tell me it was really about 4 or 5 years ago, because Red Table Talk didn't even exist. That show was maybe about a couple of years, and he was on there at the very beginning. So the thing is, like, people cheat. That's understood. It's a different lens, because more so the brand that they represent. And I think the brand is more so Will's brand, not Jada's brand. Will is this like all-American black male in Hollywood. He's able to rap, he's able to be a father, he's able to be a producer, a director, blockbuster movie maker. That was his brand. And then you think about it, going back to, you mentioned earlier, I won't say about Pac, but maybe she never really wasn't happy, man. It, like, some people get excited about the idea and the concept of being married, but everybody on this call knows it takes work, ongoing work. It's easy to get married. It's hard to stay married. And the thing is, for her to say, like, it wasn't necessarily what she said, but how she said it that I had issue with, because she said it in a way almost like she didn't show no remorse of the action. And I felt like if it was the other way around, with going back to gender roles, we will be crucifying Will Smith now. But yet we're just trying to still, even us talking about it right now, we're trying to understand where Jada was coming from. Do you think if Will did that, we'll be trying to understand where he was coming from, that he just wanted to feel needed? It just kind of happened, an entanglement. It's like, hey, you cheated, own it. And that's the part that, like, if she couldn't own that and be genuine and honest with the person that she's married to, then that means that, like, hey, it may be some other stuff that, just may not sit right with me. But the thing is, Tawana mentioned this, it's their relationship. Who are we to judge? Who am I to judge about anybody on this call? But we talking about opinion. So for me, I was pissed at the fact of how it was handled. Not to say that it shouldn't happen, but these things do happen. But the way that she was able to articulate what happened, she wanted it to happen. It wasn't by accident.
I think you made a good point. We definitely gonna talk about if Jada getting the pass is okay or not. So we definitely gonna dive into that, Tawana.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
We're gonna get Anton's opinion first about what he thought about it. How you felt about it, Anton?
I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I possibly can right now. Let's just keep that clear, because I'm gonna just touch on a few things. Let's just put it all out there. I think B Nix was 100% right, except for the fact that when he said, "Who are we to judge?" Because they the ones that brought it to the red table, and so now I'm gonna have an opinion about it. That's number one. Number two, Aug, is that what they want to call him? August. That dude is the biggest cornball I have ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen a weaker, cornier dude on display, especially, and I'm not even going to talk about as it relates to the relationship, but as it relates to, like, the rollout. If this truly happened a while ago and you want to, pillow talk around your album drop, that is the corniest dude I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, he hurt, man. He hurt.
That dude is a cornball, bro. That's the second thing. The third thing is that broken people hurt people. Like, I'm always an advocate for people not depending on other people for their happiness, because a lot of people like to go in a relationship and say it's 50-50. Nah, bro, it's 100-100. You come into this thing 100% whole. I'm going to come into this thing 100% whole. And then we're going to make sure that we're both enhancing each other's lives. She still seems like the type of person that's so dependent on somebody else for her happiness, whether it be this guy she dating, and she even said it, "Oh, I just wanted to be happy." So you mean to tell me that your happiness is based off of your interactions with other people? Like, that's corny. She is corny, and ain't nobody just flat out said that she's not even that bad. Let's just be clear. Like, I know everybody kind of got this Jada Pinkett thing, but she is no different to me than the Sanaa Lathans and the Nia Longs. She could be any one of them. Any one of them. It wouldn't make no difference. And the fact that she with Will Smith is what enhances who she are. Let's just be clear.
No,
And
I agree. I agree.
And last but not least, and it's just because I got some stuff that I'm gonna really say, but last but not least, let's just make it really clear. Will Smith is the brand. He is the reason why she got Red Table Talk. And that whole situation is just a huge illustration as to how opportunistic women are as it relates to who it is that they want to maintain a relationship with. She did her thing with Pac and Og and whoever else she want to use one syllable names with, but the person she gonna make sure she stick it out with is the person that's getting to the bag. That's just real. That's the truth.
Now that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, because she's been honest with Will about not wanting to be married. She has. You need to go
then
back.
Why you get married? Then why you get married? You, don't be honest with me about not wanting to get married and then say
I don't want to be married. And she
wrong.
He wanted to maintain his image of that.
So she don't take no responsibility in the fact that she got married. I don't want to hear, oh, I don't want to get married. Either you gonna get married or you're not. Ain't nobody pulling you. Ain't nobody putting a gun to your hand saying you got to get married.
But don't sit here and say that that's the reason why, that she's an opportunist, because she's married to this man who is also fighting for his marriage and fighting for the relationship as well. And when she's told him, like, no, I want to get a divorce, he has told her, like, you know, I don't want you to get it. Like, I don't want to get a divorce. Let's work on this. Let's stay together.
No, but I think that's also
part,
but I think it's part of the brand though too. Think about it. We grew up watching Will Smith, Fresh Prince, whatever stage of his career, he reinvigorated himself every time, reinvented himself. But the thing is, like, I felt like this hurt the brand. But the thing is, I think also, if you really look back at Jada over the course of interviews, I agree with, Anton, the fact, like, hey, she's not the baddest, but the idea of Jada, not even just a look itself, of what she represented, what her and Will represented together as a unit. And I felt that it was more so the fact is that if I'm Will, I would feel a way that I got to explain myself in front of all these people. And that's the thing. We've all had issues in our relationships, but that's a different type of discomfort that I got to explain, or not even explain. I got to listen to my wife talk to me what would typically be a personal conversation for any other normal person. This is a production, whether it's a production to be an opportunist on both their ends, or the fact is, hey, Jada, I'm giving you an out to be able to clean this mess up and still not hurt the brand, but help to at least enhance and still support the brand without all of them looking foolish. To me, both of them look like fools. And that's the thing. We know for a fact when you're in a relationship, when one person does something wrong, both people look like the fool that cheated and the fool that got caught cheating. It's a unit. We look great as a unit. We look bad as a unit. As a unit, they look like trash, and it goes against what they represent.
But B-Nix, you know what the problem with that is? Is what you illustrated earlier. Is if it was Will Smith on the other end of that table, it wouldn't have been, oh, we both look bad. It would have been, oh, she's so supportive, and this is just typically what men do. And how many times have we seen this and all of this, so on and so forth. But since it's reversed, now it's, you know what, we look bad as a unit. We need to work on this, and that's nonsense.
So to that point, Ashley, I do agree with you. And I know I don't usually say this when we are recording, but I do agree with you, because of the fact is, I feel like, again, even right now, myself maybe included, we're massaging the conversation. I felt like based on gender, as you know, I always go down this road, that I felt like there's a level of bias on how it's treated if it was the other way around. And the thing is, I would be open to people, myself, people on the chat, or people just in the world, to be honest with themselves, that if it was Will, it would be a different tone and a different conversation. I almost feel like it would be the cancel culture that you hate, Anton, but I feel like Will Smith would have been canceled just based on not being the person he represents. But now, if Jada is not being the person she represents, that's part of her show. She actually brings people on the table, to the table, to talk about vulnerable wrongdoings.
But think about it though. think of how bad Kobe got killed when he cheated. Think
You know what?
about how bad, like nobody was like, oh man, as a group, him and Vanessa, they never had none of that conversation. It was all smoke for him. It wasn't no group activity at all.
I agree. But it's the part that I hate what Jada said. The fact that we were talking about this before the show started. She said that, you know what, I just wanted to feel good, and you mentioned this, Anton, about like the whole, you need to love yourself first. But the thing is, it's like, we know that's messed up. That honestly is a reflection that Jada has been toxic in the past. Not even the fact of cheating, but the fact of not even being engaged. The fact is that you're saying, I wanted to feel good. You know how insulting that is indirectly to the person in a relationship, saying that like, yeah, I don't feel good and I can't get that from you. So I got to go not looking at myself, not fixing myself. She actually stated that I find value in fixing other people for her to feel validated. That's
why
the part that I had an issue with how she articulated it.
But why is that?
That's codependency. It's real. It's a need to take care of others to distract from your own pain. It's a way to just like, deflect. It happens all the time. It's a toxic way of approaching relationships. A lot of people do that. And honestly, who knows what Will's issues were when she met him? Like that codependency didn't just start. She's always had it. So something attracted her to Will. It may have been some sort of need to fix him or help him or get him through some sort of challenging time.
You want me to tell you what attracted her to Will? Because Will was a winner.
What the bag?
No, because what attracted her to Will is because Will had the biggest opportunity to be the greatest of all the men that she interacted with.
I doubt it, because
that's what attracted her.
No, I don't agree. Jada was doing well in her career at that time as well.
She wasn't doing as well as Will. She didn't stand a chance against Will.
He was doing woo. She just got like finished up with different world. But the thing is, you know what?
Stop it, Tawana.
She did some movies too.
I hate when you do this, Anton. See, you setting up the play.
She did a few movies as well. She was not a bum. Like she had a career.
We never said she was a bomb, but what we did say was that she chose Will because of his success.
I know what the hell you just did. No, you set up the play. Because the thing is, Tawana just said, no, not right now, but you said right now, the fact is, Anton, you stated about he had the most potential, right? I think I'm paraphrasing, but he had the 1,000%. Most potential at that time in order to take her to the next level. And the thing is, this goes back to, we were just talking about this a couple of shows ago where we was talking about what do we see? Like, I think I said, I see face value. Like, hey, if I'm feeling you, hey, I'm gonna date you. And then Tawana, you smiling because you know what you said. You said that when I see somebody, I'm thinking about the amount of potential, about what I could see going into the next 5 years. So then now this confirms somebody like Anton up here trying to tell us that, you know what, it's not about love, it's about what can I see. That love is a part of it, but it's about opportunity. And the thing is, this goes back to, we just talked about this a couple of shows ago, that some women do look at somebody, not the fact that they feeling them, but what opportunities that I can be a part of this life or this world or this level up in my life. So that's the part. It's a messed up game, man.
First of all, let me go back to Anton's point about this whole situation where
hey, and don't help out Anton with no more assists. Tawana, be mindful of how you tell your story.
Gonna be all
because Anton is taking notes every time you miss that.
All in alley oops and dunks today.
Don't say that, bro.
We'll get back to that.
Speak your piece.
We'll get back to that. Let's talk about this whole idea that if Will was the person who cheated and he was outed, and that the conversation would be the same. Let's talk about how men rarely admit that they cheated. Okay,
first, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that right now.
Let's give her credit for that, because she came to the table and brought herself to the table.
I'm sorry. What are we giving her credit for getting outed and being forced to address something because she was messing up?
She admitted it. Men rarely admit that when they're wrong and when they cheat.
I don't think she admitted. I don't think she admitted. I think because everything, all that talked in the media, she felt she had to address it. Everybody was telling when it happened. When he said that on the interview, she had no choice but to address it.
August said
in the spotlight.
August said that he called Will and Jada, and they were aware. that he was going to have those meetings and talk about the relationship. So she was very knowledgeable that was coming out. So yes, she had an opportunity to think about what she needed to say, how she wanted to address it. And she did address it, and she did admit it. She didn't openly deny it like Bill Clinton, things like that, right? She didn't say, okay, I didn't do it. She came.
She was caught. She was caught.
She admitted it. She didn't have to admit that, though.
She was caught, but she was caught.
Listen, Tawana. It doesn't make a person. It doesn't make a person. I don't care what the media tell you. It don't make a person brave to admit something that's already being outed.
It's not a transgression. They were not together. They were separated.
No, it is a transgression. If you marry, listen.
Well, I don't know. Well, hold on. But I don't know, because people have different rules about when you separate it. When you separate it, it's like, hey, technically on paper we married, but we doing our own thing, and it's understood. But on paper, you are married. So, did they legally separate, or did they just move out the house? Or did they even move out the house?
According to them, they were legally separated. And I got the impression that they were okay to date outside of their marriage. I felt like they were both in agreement with dating outside of their marriage. That was my impression of it.
You know what?
So
I'm still pissed at Jada, though. The idea of, I've never used the term entanglement like I am right now. That was a game changer. And the thing is, she was real savvy. So the thing is, it makes me question everything else. Like, how savvy is she with Will? And the thing is, I hate to do that to the brother Will, but it's like, man, bruh, this your wife. You know her tendencies. It's like, how much other stuff you've been kind of allowing to take place?
I think this actually helps Will. I think this creates like an even better perspective towards him as far as the narrative of who he is as a person, and his level of forgiveness and his compassion and his willingness to endure through.
I think it affirms what we already think about Will. I think we never kind of not thought that about or had an idea about him. But I think as a man, I think Will also gets crucified, because then guess what? Will's soft. He weak as a man. He let her do what he want. He's not the real man.
We already knew is that Nice Guys finished dead last.
I hate
all
that.
the way last.
Why you hate it?
It's a very true. That is one of the truest statements, one of the truest stereotypes that I've ever heard is that Nice Guys finish last. It's a cliche. So true, bro.
It's a cliche. It's not true.
He's a perfect example of it. We watched the nicest guy in the world get his chick is talking about all other dudes. Half the relationship.
The thing is, no, but we are, but I think it came up that Will also did his own thing too. So the thing is, the same way we're praising.
That's an assumption. It's an assumption.
I think they alluded to it, but of course that was not the focus. Will wasn't the focus.
It never came up at the red table.
We can't go based off assumptions. We going based off of what
I think if you, not to say you got to play the clip. Not to say you got to play the clip, JR.
He was in the red table and said what? I'm listening.
Jada said specifically that you pay me back enough. I think we tied.
We don't know what that means. That could mean anything.
That means that he cheated before in the past.
That's not what that means. But here's the thing, though. Here's the real. Here's the real thing. No matter how you want to summarize it, no matter what you want to assume, all men, and this is just a thing amongst the men, no dude. I don't care if I've slept with 20 other chicks, because, and this is a whole nother dynamic to the conversation, right? Men and women cheat differently. Men can cheat with a chick, never remember her name, have no emotional attachment to her, and it was just a thing. Women cheat emotionally. They get caught up. They start liking them. They start loving them. All of these other emotions that come along with it. It's a different dynamic.
You know
so what I'm getting down to is that,
which is why she in an entanglement.
I would agree with you, except the fact is, going back to the gender types you talking about, August is the one that is emotional and that is tied up and still can't control what he's feeling inside after the relationship is over with.
Bro, he is the corniest dude he should be.
Why is he? But see, then it goes back to, why is he a cornball versus
I'm gonna tell you why.
To do that?
I'm gonna tell you why. Well,
why a woman can be a cornball?
You say you want men can't talk about how they feel and they can't do this, they can't do that, but then you demonize a man who's talking about his emotions and how he felt in a relationship.
No, I'm demonizing a
But he
dude that
needed,
I'm
hey,
demonizing a dude
but he needed
that
help. He needed help. He
no,
needed
no,
help.
no.
It was
I'm
something that was definitely
demonizing a
wrong with him.
guy. I'm demonizing a guy that wanted to out something in public on his album rollout. That's not talking about your feelings. That's looking for an opportunity to come up. That's corny.
Okay, but that was an excerpt. Again, here we go with these excerpts. He's talked about that for 5 minutes. That excerpt was an hour.
Stop,
He talked about a whole bunch of other
yo. So you telling me, let's just say hypothetically this really did happen years ago. This
about
happened.
many other things.
This happened 4 years ago, right? Let's say this happened 4 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Why you just now having excerpts and having conversations about it when your album dropped? Come on, we gonna act like this is not what it is.
No, I agree. No, exactly. Hey. That's it. But the thing is, that's nothing new either. But usually we see it come from the aspect of a woman engaging with a man and her coming out with some book or having some press conference. I don't agree with that either. And so that's what I'm saying. No, we don't. But the thing is, this shows present day. That is normal. That is normalized now. So the thing is, he's not doing nothing no different than what a woman has done over at least
exactly.
I think
he's like a woman. Honestly, I look at him like a woman. I really do. Because first of all, I don't care who you are. Like, you don't pillow talk. You don't pillow talk.
People do pillow talk though. All the time.
It ain't nobody else's business except for whoever it is.
People have books around pillow talking, man.
I don't, and that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with women pillow talking. And so I'm gonna hold men to that same fire and that same standard. That's number one.
Okay.
Because I'm fair. I'm objective across the board. I feel you. Number two, and this is just something that I've always had within my circle of friends and the people that I associate with. Ever since I was younger, way before I was married, since I was a young dude, 13, 14 years old, I was always of the impression that you don't mess with married women. You don't mess with married women under any circumstances. I don't care if she says she's separated. I don't care if she's saying she's going through a divorce. I don't care what goes on. If a dude cared enough about that chick to actually put vows before her, like, and to say that I'm with you to the end of the earth and, till death do us part and all of this other type of stuff, you don't mess with married women.
I get that, Anton. I get that, but is that?
I call him a cornball because of that too. Do you feel that
people follow that logic present day though? You feel like was that like from a different era? I'm not saying it's right, but do you feel that
the dudes that I associate with, and I'm talking about, and I'm not gonna try to paint them all as like they just the greatest dudes ever. I'm talking about friends and stuff like that. That's a golden cardinal rule. You just don't mess with married chicks. So as far as the circle that I associate with, because it's messy, it's more than just the moral part of it. It's a situation. You mess with a chick's wife, bro, and he found out, you don't know what's about to happen. Like that could be the end of everything for everybody. You don't know how emotionally scarred this dude could become. Because dudes are protective.
But you got to think about the world we live in right now. Everybody's in a take culture. So let's say me and Tawana, was married, right? And the thing is, somebody may look at Tawana and say like, hey, I see the way she treat Brandon. I want somebody to do that for me. I'm going to take that because that's what I want. And the thing is, we live in a take culture. People want to take, and we live in a culture where I'm not willing to wait. I want it right now. And that's no matter what people feel vindicated with behaving like that nowadays.
Very true. But no matter what culture you have, no matter what culture you're in, there always has to be a limit. In everything you do, there is a limit. Like, for example,
bro, there's no rules in this, man.
Yes,
I get it. Rules is not written down. People abusing that.
No, bro, it's got to be a limit in everything. What is it that we willing to allow to happen until we say that's enough? Even in my kids, in my daughter, she can do us up to a certain point, and then at some point I'll be like, okay, you out of control. We got to rein this back in. Like, you got to have a limit. And everything that instantly gratified me, it was some stuff I was like, nah, we might go to jail for that one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have some kind of consciousness in the back of your mind that say, you know
Anton,
what, that part is off limits, bro.
Anton, you talking about people who got morals. You talking about people who like are like have common sense. Obviously, we live in a world where everything is on the table. Everything is up for discussion. Everything is an option right now. That's why the world is the way it is right now. Even though we're talking about relationships, but we know for a fact that the fact that we're talking about this, that the aspect of cheating, and we're talking about it from the aspect of almost not even demonizing the fact that there was cheating that happened, but we're more so talking about how she cheated or why she cheated. That just showed us like it's gonna be
Jada, bro. It's only
I don't think
she's
she
a girl.
People cheat.
What?
What'd you say?
What'd you just say?
She didn't cheat.
She didn't
How did
cheat.
she cheat on somebody that knew what she was doing? Agreed to it?
No. Let's stay right here. Let's stay right here with that, because that's a good question. Because we talked about it earlier, but it didn't come up. Where we had just said about them being separated, right? And the thing is, it shows that we have different definitions. That when you're separated, does that mean can you date other people when you're separated?
No.
People have different views about that.
Absolutely not.
They mutually agreed to it. So how is it that we condemn them and frown upon a behavior?
Allegedly.
Hey, no, that's a good question though. Is that cheating if you're separated?
Mutually agree to that. All they said was,
dude, we know for a fact we got family members and friends that are separated, went out and dated someone else. Men started whole nother families and stuff, being separated.
I still think it's wrong.
Yeah, but is that deemed as cheating? Do we define that as cheating?
This has been happening for ages. Yes, we want to demonize and talk about Jada, but Jada and Will is only bringing to light things that happen in marriage.
Because it's normal don't mean it's right.
Everything. Okay, but this is happening in marriage, so why is this happening in marriages, right? So that's what we need to talk about, because at the end of the day...
Are you making an excuse for her? You making an excuse for her?
Hey,
no. I think Tawana's talking about root causes, bro.
We can rewatch the show. Like if you
want in the comments,
go ahead.
Specifically highlighted exactly. His conversation says it was not mutual.
Okay, Tawana,
it wasn't mutual.
It wasn't mutual. Now
was
what?
It?
I believe it was mutual.
No, but he said it wasn't mutual. You can't make it mutual.
He said
you can't make it mutual.
In the clip. He
said it wasn't mutual.
I don't know if he said it was mutual. He agreed they were separated.
He agreed they were separated.
Can somebody please confirm in the comments? If you guys
he said they were separated. He agreed. He obliged. Yeah, but they were separated.
But
you got to understand what Anton just mentioned. That means, according to what Anton mentioned, separated still doesn't condone the behavior to be able to cheat. You still don't cheat.
No, that's right.
You're still married.
I don't think that, but I do believe that they mutually agreed to date other people.
Hey, Tawana, I want to ask you this: are you giving Jada a pass?
Giving her a pass in what way? For what?
For her actions. For her actions. Does she get a pass?
I believe everything that
does she get a pass? Yes or no?
A pass. What does a pass mean?
For her actions. A pass meaning that we don't trip about it. You know, like it was justified what she did.
I don't know.
I don't believe that it was justified. I mean, she didn't make herself accountable. She didn't hold herself accountable. She took advantage of somebody. In my opinion, she was the manipulator in that situation.
This goes back to folks' morals. So this goes back to morally, where do you stand on this? Because the thing is, like, let's say not even in your current relationship, but I'm sure somebody at some point in time the men cheated on. At that moment, do you say option A, I'm done, it's over? Or option B, okay, what happened? Was this a one-time thing? Or part C, this was like a whole entanglement, a whole relationship. In which
I want to ask you the same
agree.
question. I want to ask you the same question. Does she get a pass? Because right now it's like you're making an excuse for her.
It's not an excuse because men cheat too.
Are you making a pass for her? I understand that, but I'm talking about specifically her. Does she get a pass?
Well, all right, I'm gonna ask you the question. Are you defining me to answer pass like, okay, it happened, but I'm gonna stay with you, or yeah, it happened, or oh, it's over? Because that's the outcome based. Either you stay with the person or you gone. It's really two options.
I'm not talking about the outcome of what's gonna happen. What I'm just saying is that
if you take the person back,
you brought it up earlier. You brought it up earlier. We talked about it. We talked about it earlier, right? If it was the other way around, Will Smith would get slandered. I mean, they would just fucking keep digging his name
Yep.
into the dirt. They would throw it in the dirt. We
Yeah,
not doing
but
that for Jada right now. Right now, we catering to her. Right now, we saying
Jada has been
this,
slammed.
but-
that.
She
but
has been
Stop
slammed.
it. She ain't been slammed.
She
Not
has.
even a little bit.
I think it
Yes,
to
she
me
has.
to me just cheating in general, and I think that's one thing we
She's
didn't
been
give
called
the
a
disclaimer.
predator.
None
She's been
of
called-
us support cheating, right? I don't think no one in the world supports cheating if they're in a monogamous relationship. But the thing is, the fact cheating did happen, and then it becomes one of those, am I willing to deal with that? And that's something that, like, yeah, I guess anybody could get a pass, because all right, it happened. We know it for a fact. It's more so to me like, okay, now that it's out there, if I'm Will, would I be willing to take her back? And if I was Jada and it was the other way around with Will, would she be willing to take them back? And I think that's something that's situational. That varies by individual
I would say
person.
yes, I give her a pass. It's a slippery slope. If you agree to separate from someone and you legally are not married, or y'all say, okay, we separating, and we have the intention.
They never
of
said that they legally separated either. But
Listen,
even if you are
Hey,
legally separated,
Okay.
you still
Some people
married.
don't even legally separate. So when people
Yes.
move out the house,
that's legally
black folk
separated.
consider that separated.
No,
Right.
that's cheating.
So
Yeah,
That's cheating.
No,
It's cheating, bro.
I know for a fact. It's folk
I
family.
say-
I know.
Listen,
I done moved
I don't
out the
care.
crib.
I
Hey,
don't care
Tawana.
what
Hey,
they
Tawana.
did.
Hey,
They
Tawana.
separated.
Tawana. I want to ask you this. I want to bring up D Wade and Gabrielle.
Okay.
They separated, right? D Wade
Yeah,
went
the
and had a
break
baby.
baby.
Yeah, he went and had a baby.
The break baby.
Did he cheat?
He didn't.
They were separated.
He didn't cheat on her at
Yeah.
all.
Y'all crazy, bro.
At all.
They were separated, right? Ain't that?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
at least that's the story that was told to us.
And and Gabrielle took him back and she accepted that baby, didn't she?
Listen. Y'all nuts on
All I'm
this.
gonna say is
No,
when you
hey,
decide to separate, when you decide to separate in marriage, that's dangerous anyway. When you say, hey, well, guess what? We're gonna live in separate spaces. And guess what? And then when you start putting rules and what's allowed and what's not allowed, it's between you two. And if Jada and Will had some sort of agreement that it was
Stop
okay for
it. And you know why that don't that
No,
argument
but you know what?
not work,
But-
Tawana?
Will called him Og too. You don't
But-
remember that,
But
right?
let's,
Will
yeah,
was like,
he did.
oh, that's my boy. And Og has admittedly said that Will have openly gave him acceptance. Like it's okay.
I think they cleared that at the beginning. They said he didn't get no acceptance for that.
No, Jada and Will denied that. However,
Yeah, I'm not listening to August. Like I'm not taking him at his word.
Anybody
on
that got
nothing,
orange
man.
hair, I can't take seriously anyway.
No, not even
Just
a
off
little bit, bro.
presentation alone. But the thing is, it becomes
I
one
don't
of
have
those.
anything to gain from telling his story. I don't think he has anything to lie about.
Then why did he say it around album time? He got a lot to gain.
So, but also,
That's what I said. He only have things to gain. So I believe he's telling the truth.
So I
I
mentioned.
don't see why he would make up that whole scenario where Will
I hate
agreed
even
to
mention.
allow
I hate
him to
the-
be in a relationship.
I hate the month of August now, bro. Real talk. like I hate is a strong word. I strongly dislike this dude.
Was it the orange hair?
Duh, I just think he a cornball. Like he is the very definition of the dude that we highlighted in high school that we would not hang around because we knew that he's just a cornball. Like he's the guy that would tell the teacher on it.
But that was
when we was doing the paper.
But that was
planes.
back when you was in high school, man. Dude, that's
Man,
like
listen, man.
2 decades in. What is that?
You're
Like
right. You're
84?
100% right.
What is
bro.
that, like 84?
That you can't evolve corny. Like corny is
You're
still
so
corny.
confusing. You're so for men being able to have like us to have a special place in our heart for them, us to understand where men are coming from, us to just really wrap our arms around men. But then you go and you demonize this man for speaking his truth.
There's
But you
rules
know-
to the game.
But
There's
you know
rules to
why
the
it's.
game. You can't break the rules of the game.
But you
One
know
of the
why
rules-
we.
Man
One of
code.
the rules to the game is you don't mess with married chicks.
But you know why we have issues with this? Because there's layers to this story. This is not like a clean cut cheat. This is the fact that they were separated. We're split on whether it's acceptable or not when you're separated to date outside of your marriage.
I'm very
Second
clear.
thing,
clear about that.
second thing, the fact is, if you cheat as a woman, is viewed differently than versus cheating when you're a man, if we even define it cheating.
Tawana is struggling
And the third thing that we really didn't touch on, that's another layer of this issue is the thing is like, well, it's kind of like a part 1 and part 2 where August, this is somebody that was close. So this is pretty much, you could say, a family friend. So the thing is, you didn't just cheat, but you cheated with somebody that you considered family, that you entered into your relationship. So that's the part that, like, if, you know, we've seen it. When somebody cheat, it's a different level of hurt or hate on both sides of the opposite sides of the same coin when it's somebody that you know, a family member, a friend that you know that engage in cheating with somebody in a relationship. And the fact is, the age thing, we didn't talk about that, but okay, Buddy was of age,
that was,
but yeah,
that was my next point. That was my next point about Jada. Is she a predator?
Dude was legal. I mean, he's 21.
Right? I'm gonna tear this whole house down in a minute. So I just want to give.
I know you got one in the chamber. Go ahead, man.
Opportunity to speak her piece.
He was
Tawana.
legal. He's
Is
legal.
Jada,
It's not like he's a child.
Jada a predator, Tawana?
If a woman cannot date a man who is of age because she's older without being called a predator, then men cannot date women younger than them either.
Where are these rules written down there? Are they legal? Yes or no? It's not like we're talking about like a little, he was like 12 years old or something. Hey, folks are adults.
Tawana, I have a question for you. Tawana, I have a question. Why is it that every time you speak about whether or not a woman is right or wrong, so on and so forth, it's always predicated based off of what a man did first? Like, why not just speak specifically about her perspective, what she did? Why is it always validated or invalid based off of whether or not a man can do it or not? Just speak specifically towards her.
You want me to tell you why I do that?
No, I don't want you to tell me. I want you to just speak specifically about her.
You don't want to know
why. I want you to address this like it's her. It ain't got nothing to do with him. Speak on the perspective of why she is wrong.
He should be able to date a legally grown man without feeling like she is a predator or she preyed on him. And the fact is, he knew she was married. Everyone knows Will and Jada are married. He willingly went into this entanglement. I'm going to call it what Jada called it because that's exactly what it is.
No, we don't honor that. I'm not honoring that. It's
a complicated relationship.
It was a whole relationship. Will made it say it. Will had to make it. Now, that's one thing. Will did have to make it plain like, hey, y'all know you're from Philly. You gotta dig deep to figure out what the hell is
he willingly dated Jada. We can give him we can talk about his mental illness, we can talk about the state of his everything, we can talk about everything, but the fact is that he was a grown man that made a decision.
I don't even care about the mental illness because obviously he knew what he was doing. So I mean, what that mean? Like, oh, I didn't know what I fell into. Come on, man.
He had enough sense to get approval from Will, he said. So if you got enough sense to get approval, then you know what you're doing. Listen, that's just my opinion.
I don't believe, and I mean, people might feel like I'm completely off on this. I don't believe in being in a relationship and having friends of the other gender. I think it's 1000% off and an opportunity to find yourself in
this
a
part
situation.
Of your tearing the house down perspective.
Yeah, I don't.
If you're in a relationship, you can't have nobody the opposite sex as a friend.
You know what, Anton? You know what's gonna be crazy? I 100% agree with you. 100%. I agree with you. There should be. I do not believe in my man having a sister, a friend, a best friend. I don't believe in that.
I don't know. Wow.
You know,
I actually disagree. I actually disagree with both y'all.
Well, like, I'm just saying. Before Anton got started,
where are these rules written? What
the first time
y'all just made this shit up. Y'all just made it up. What rules are written down when you get married and have vows about like, oh yeah, you can't talk to nobody that's of the opposite sex?
I didn't say you can't talk to nobody. I said I don't believe in outside friendships. If it ain't like a cousin or we going as a couple or whatever like that. Let me tell you something. I am not.
Y'all acting like this like 1962.
As a married man, and the problem of why we so messed up in society today is that we got so far away from our core values. But I am not, as a married man.
Values?
Wait.
Who values are those?
I can go into that too. But
Anglo-Saxon values?
Let me finish my thoughts.
Go ahead, Anton. Let me hear this.
As a married man, I am not going to take the opportunity to further build a relationship, because a friendship is a relationship. I'm not going to take the opportunity to further build a relationship with another woman that I am not married to. I could be spending 10 times more time with the woman that I have, continuing to build with her, than I am building with another chick. And secondly, let's be clear. Most men, the only reason why half these men is friends with women is because the women haven't let them get it yet. That's the absolute truth. If we had the opportunity half the time and half these dudes wasn't friend zoned, they would be straight up doing what it is that they need to do with these women that they so-called call friends. So I don't want to hear any of this perspective of, oh, yeah, that's just my friend. We can be friends. We can go and hang out together. We can go to the bar together. We can go and kick it together. If you got time to nurture that relationship, then you got time to be trying to fix the issues that you got within your own relationship. I just honestly feel like that.
I do agree with you. Like, I'm uncomfortable when I know that someone, like I'm in a relationship with, has all of these female friends that he's so close with, like that they're supposed to be so close with, that it's very, to me, I've never seen it be done where it's respectful. Like, I always see the sister friend calling at weird times of the night, over too touchy-feely, not respecting boundaries, being a little messy. And I don't have time for that dynamic in my relationship. It's just a preference. I don't want to go through that bull. So I'd rather not deal with a man that's got all these ties to women that's outside of his family. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Now, if I see it productively done to the point where I can feel like I can have, I see the boundaries, and I do think that in my current relationship, my boyfriend, he has male friends that he's friends with their spouses, but that's like a different dynamic because it's not like a direct relationship, right? So I can respect those friendships, and I feel like he feels like they are good friends to him. But like, I don't have time for all your sisters that's not really your sisters and cousins. I'm like,
you're 100% right. We are on the same page.
They not your sister, and I just don't respect it. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
I don't on the same page.
Yeah, y'all are on the same page, and I'm not. Obviously, I'm on the island as usual on these calls. But
let me hear your island. Let me hear your perception of why you would be okay with that. We're
adults. We're not kids. It's not like I'm talking to my children or whatever like that. The thing is, like, hey, my only thing is that, hey, if it's come down to trust. If I can't trust my person that I'm with in order to behave accordingly, then you know what? Shame on me. That's my fault. Then if the relationship goes awry and she leaves me for another man, that means that, you know what? That obviously wasn't the one. But the thing is, if it is a friend that is of the opposite sex, then I feel this. You mentioned about like texting in the middle of the night and all that, then it should be something that person, the man or woman, should feel comfortable enough to be like, well, I should also know who the person is. I think to your point, Tawana, it becomes an issue when it's this person that's like this mystery that's just kind of out there that I don't, if I'm in a relationship, I don't know who the other guy is. It's if there's somebody that I brought to the house that comes to them, that come by the crib, or, we see it even at work. Folks got work friends and stuff too. So the thing is, like, that person, they're like, oh yeah, we just going out like all us coworkers. If I'm really taking the rules that you all explain, then I'm saying like, hey, you can't go on no work outing because I don't know the man that's gonna be there and you consider them work friends. So the thing is,
that's wrong. That's off,
who's gonna police that?
Off,
so
no,
the thing is,
you know why you off?
let me give me one more minute. One more minute. My only thing I would say that, you know what? If that's both you, Anton, and Tawana, y'all perspective, I would just hope that this is a conversation that you all initiate when you all begin to engage in a relationship with someone. And I know, y'all established right now, but at least for anybody that's listening, if y'all do agree with the two of these people, I hope this is a conversation that y'all setting expectations in the beginning, because for some people, it may be a deal breaker. For me, I'm not about to police nobody, counting their number of friends, looking through their phone. Who is this? And the thing is, if I do got to do that, then that means that I am obviously in the wrong relationship with the wrong person.
And that's why you off, B.
I didn't paint that perception that I'm policing people.
Hey, no, I don't think y'all heard what said on the back end of that. Hey, say it one more time, Anton.
B, you are off 1,000.
Yeah, he's like you went too deep into it, and you also like said some things that I didn't say or Anton didn't say.
I went too deep.
Well,
I think that
well, see the key. Go ahead,
I have had relationships where I have been accepting of female friends in the past. I have had that before. And what happened is I have been in many situations where the friends that I thought were just friends, later in life, I found out that these people start dating and that all these different dynamics. So it's just my experience with.
But y'all not together. No, so obviously that wasn't the person you needed to be with.
But what I'm saying is when men have these friends that it's a weird dynamic sister relationship, I need to see that is really what the dynamic is in the relationship. And sometimes what I've witnessed, I don't see that. It's always something more than just friends.
Then I say, let that be the argument then. Let that be the conversation piece. The fact is to say that like, hey, I have an issue with this one particular person or two. Right. So the thing is, but the statements y'all made, it was a very broad blanket statement, just saying no friends, zero. That's it.
No, it's over. And I stick by it. And I'm not.
Okay, go ahead, Anton.
I'm not talking about. Yeah, you see. So, like for example, one of the examples that you use was work friends. These are people that I have to interact with. I build
not after work. Work is work. After work, you don't got to do nothing with your work friends.
Well, here's the key though. Going out with a chick by myself unless it's like a sales call or something like that. I'm not going out with a chick by myself after work. That's just it, bro. And it don't have nothing to do with me policing my chick because that ain't the type of dude that I am. I feel like I'm more than sufficient in every area, whether it be financial, whether it be in the bed and everything, to where I ain't never worried about none of that. But the point is that I respect her enough not to ever put her in a position to have to evaluate where it is that I am or where it is that she stands in this relationship. And it doesn't mean that she's insecure or she don't trust me. It just means that I have so much love and respect for her that I would never, ever put her in that position. It's almost like when I first got into the relationship, like when I got married, it was, all right, this is cut off, this is cut off, this is cut off. Like, ain't nothing for us to kick it about. It ain't nothing for us to talk on the phone about at a certain amount of time that I don't have other people in my life that I can interact with and get that same insight. I don't need you for that. Relationships are not meant to last forever. People grow in different directions. It don't mean that we beefing. It don't mean that I don't love you or I don't have love for you or we haven't had a great, time together in our past. But this is over. In this specific example, when I see you out, I'm gonna be like, what up though? I love you, what's happening? But at the same time, I'm not kicking it with you. I'm not going on getting on the phone with you. I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm not spending no time to continue to nurture this thing. This in this form is over when I decided to move in this direction and find a more common bond, a stronger bond with this specific person that I decided that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I don't know why that's so off.
I'm gonna tell you specifically, I have never, ever, and I told my boyfriend this, and I stand by it, had a male friend that did not want to sleep with me. Never. In my entire life. Like I had to be the one to be like, no. Like I don't care if they married, was engaged, never, ever. I've always had to be the one to set the boundaries. So why would I even put myself in that situation when I'm with someone that I really respect and value? I don't even want no man around me because I don't even know how he gonna respond. Like, forget it. Because it's just not that important. I got cousins, and like he said, I got all kind of men influences in my life. I guess if you don't have that, I guess it's important. And I don't feel like every woman feels that way, but I think my man better be very careful about.
And we gonna completely ignore the fact that we want the overwhelming majority of the women that we be seeing, like, I'm a man. I'm just gonna be real. When I see a bad chick, I'll be like, dang, she bad. Bro, I'm not even gonna entertain it. I'm not gonna entertain the possibility of what can happen. Ain't nothing going on over there for me. I'm good. And again, I'm a very strong dude. I don't get into that and none of that. And I know that I can resist it if I ever got into a situation. But why even put myself in a position to have to resist? That's how Jada ended up in the position that she in. She thought she was coming in, kicking it with a dude on some friendship level, and then all of a sudden, oh
you know what? I
man,
don't believe her. I don't believe her.
good. I just
I
want
don't
to feel
believe
good.
her. I believe
Wait,
she always
but he came in on some friendship junk, right?
That's what she say, but I don't believe her. I believe she always had the intention.
I don't
But
know. I
you might
mean,
be right, Tawana. You might be right though.
I
Get
hear
in
I hear what both y'all saying, but it just, you know, maybe I don't need to be like in a relationship. I mean, I got female friends. And the thing is, Anton, I think it just, to me, I just look at it from the aspect that you're absolutely right. I do agree with you from the aspect, from my lens, of saying like, yeah, you know what? It is about me holding myself accountable and not wanting to put myself in that position because of my partner and vice versa. And I hate to say, I know it sounds man, actually kind of naive by us saying like, well, just off the honor rule, but you know, it's about trust. The thing is like, I feel like it becomes that slope of like, okay, if you're painting this broad brush and not really contextualize everything based on the situation, then that means, you know what, then it becomes down to, hey, you can't have these friends, you can't wear this outfit, you can't go here, I don't like when you do that. And the thing is, now it becomes like this honestly, I know we kind of sidebarring right now, but these are the reasons why people get divorced or don't want to go into relationships. Because one of the things you mentioned, I don't know if you are meant to articulate it that way, but you said like, hey, we married, this is cut off. This is cut off. That's cut off. And the thing is, that's when some people in the relationship are like, whoa, this isn't what I got married to. When I was dating,
but you know what the
it wasn't
problem
like
is?
this. And then now this has now changed expectations. And that's
But
why people do get divorced, because
no,
these
the reason
expectations
why
now
people get
change with the same
divorced is
person.
because the reason why people get divorced is because they was never ready to be married in the first place. That's why.
Okay, that could
It
be
has nothing.
that could be a true. I
And
do
that's what I'm
agree.
saying. Like, it
One,
depends
that
on
could
how
be
you.
one aspect, not the
No, you're
entire
right.
aspect.
No.
Listen, we
Because
just
the
have
thing,
this conversation.
You know what? You know what? To that, if that's how y'all feel, I mean, I know Mike G not on this call, but it's like, hey, you know what? That means that folks don't need to be married, or folks need to have multiple partners. Then, because if that's
not
the
true.
case,
That
if
means that
if it's
people.
all these boundaries, then you know what? Maybe it's not meant for folks to be married, which is why people don't get married right now, because of that
No,
type of logic.
It's people like you out there though, so you can marry somebody that has the same values you have.
Correct,
And that's
you're
how
right.
it goes. And that's what brings you together. And so if we both feel like, hey, you know what? We don't have friends now. I'm 36. I don't have any male friends. You know, you 38. You ain't got no female friends like that. We ain't gonna start building them now. We just
But
gonna
you living in a
continue
box, both y'all. You building a box.
You know what? Somebody said in the comments, Lanice, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. She said, marriage doesn't mean you have to cut off your whole other life. No. Marriage is a 100% of your time commitment. And I'm not saying that I have to be up under somebody 100% of the time, but marriage itself is a full-time job. Yes, like, it's a full-time commitment. So if you're trying to live this whole nother life, in which, again, I'm not trying to dictate the dynamics of what a specific type of marriage should be. But what I'm saying is that people, if you want to live this whole nother life, then live it. But at the same time, you have to understand that when you going into a commitment and you saying, I want to be with somebody for the rest of my life, because the real issue is that people are not taking a vow seriously, right? They not really listening to what he's saying when he's saying it at the altar. They just like, yeah, okay, this is a standard by which I have to abide by in order to be accepted in society in this particular type of way, as an example. But the problem is that people are not truly trying to nurture what it is they got in front of them. So many people got a plan B. You know what plan B is for me? Plan B for me is plan A. The only thing I care about is the person that's in front of me, bro. I don't care about anybody else. And I'm not saying I don't have friends, because they my dogs and all of that. But when it comes down to it, it comes back down to this is the person that's an extension of me. Her best interest is my best interest. And it's not in her best interest to feel any type of way. And again, B-Nix, I do agree with you to an extent that there needs to be trust and things like that. But what I'm saying is that I'm focused on me, and me is trying to make her feel the best way possible that she can feel. How can I enhance her? How can I invest in her? How can I make her a better version of me? How can we enhance each other? I ain't got time to be nurturing no relationships outside of her. She it. That's it.
I
That's
agree.
the person I'm spending the rest of my life with, and I don't want no new friends, bro.
I agree. I mean, as far as when y'all provide the rationale, I do agree with you. Just the thing is, that same rationale is the same rationale I use. That like, yeah, you know what? That is my job. It is 100% for me to invest in that relationship. So the thing is, I mean, I think it goes down to the person. That means I hope that for the two of y'all find somebody to actually agree with that same logic. Because if y'all have a mate that don't agree with the same logic y'all had just concerning the friends aspect, that's going to be the issue right there. That's going to be the breaking point. Not right now, but it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then you hit a mark 6 years and like, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of not living my life. And I'm not saying that you can't live your life, but you know what? That's why some people ain't meant to be together. So you said respecting the vows.
Not for me, Big Nick, because it's not a deal breaker for me. It's just a preference. It's not a deal breaker. It's more so,
which is fine.
That's fine.
It works better when you find somebody that also share the same preferences.
But I don't feel like if my man meet a girl that he's cool with, that I'm going to instantly be like, no, this is done. Like,
not right now.
No, that's not at all.
Second round, hey, you might have the gloves off then. That's how this stuff happened. That's how these. Come on, think about it. We all at the crib too. We've been hearing nobody been talking about on the news. All the domestic cases going up.
But think about it though,
Buddy from Empire with his wife. I didn't even know Buddy was married. Like, hey, you know them how much domestic stuff people go through just because of.
Think about it though, B-Nix. The whole topic that we speaking about is entanglement. You get caught up in something you didn't know you was gonna get caught up in, and then you in a situation where you can't really get out of it without there being any real repercussions that's attached to it.
Well, so Kevin has a good question. He said, "What about if you already have that friend well before you guys are married, like before your wife,
did they get grandfathered in?"
Yeah. So what happens if you met your wife or your husband, your spouse, and they already had a friend? How do we feel about that?
Yeah, the Book of Anton. What you got to say?
It's over. That's it, fam.
Hey, you hear that, cuz? It's dead.
That is it.
It's dead. Hey, Anton said, soon as you get married, boom. Dead. Not right now, but soon as you get married, different expectation. You get a whole new contract.
The dynamics, I am a lot of people may disagree with me, and that's fair. I'm okay with that because I also understand that every relationship is different. However, I am very black and white across the board. There is no straggling the fence, ain't no gray area. Like, this is how I am, and this is right, this is wrong, this is where I stand. I don't play no games, bro. I don't have that's my homegirl. Fam, listen, I'm gonna have a conversation. I want you to understand, baby girl, that we've been friends for a long time. However, this is my wife, and I have to spend a lot of time. I really want to spend the rest of my life with this person, and I want to make it work. You know what? I think we should get together occasionally as a group, as a couple, occasionally, and we should go out or whatever like that. However, I can't be spending no time with you by myself. That's not good. This is new. I need to be, I really want to make sure that she understands that I'm really committed to her. This is the thing that we doing right now. So you're not going to be able to call me at all times of the night. That's just the real. Like, I'm very black and white. Ain't no
I agree.
games.
But then, okay, well, I mean,
I
agree.
If I had a friend before and that friendship, I felt like could interfere with my new relationship, and I felt that this relationship was going in a direction that I really felt like this was a life partnership or marriage, I don't know. I no longer need to have that kind of dependency on a person. Like, I need my man to supply me with all the things that I was getting from those friendships that I had outside of.
I get it.
I just don't need that. I don't need that relationship.
Tawana, you mentioned about preferences. This all is about, it's just like almost like not the family, the spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend that brings work home. That may be a rule for some people, like, hey, no working from home. Some people are workaholics. So, I mean, this all goes back to preferences. So we all got different things that we kind of hold the line on, and other things like, not a big issue. But, you know, I know we were talking about the friends thing. That's just something for me, like, I disagree with y'all. I mean, it's just.
So B-Nix, are you telling me that?
Yeah, I am. And I think I did earlier. Whatever you about to say.
No. Are you telling me that you think it's cool? Well, let me rephrase the question, because I got a completely different question as it relates to the relationship. Are you telling me that because you may be the type of dude, and again, I don't necessarily think it's wrong to have female friends. I don't think that it's conducive to a relationship. Are you telling me that you don't think that the overwhelming majority of friendships between guys and girls are more than friendships, or they could possibly be more than friendships if the opportunity arises? You telling me that that's not a dynamic that really exists within our society today in a lot of different relationships?
I think it's human nature with any relationship that it could evolve into something if there's like the pheromones, the feelings, the vibes you may have. But then that goes back to me as an individual, and those individuals, like, well, what's my agenda, right? What's my intent? I know some of the women on the chat, they even mentioned like, yeah, it's just men that they just in the friend zone, but they waiting. But the thing is, it's kind of like, well, why are they a friend of yours?
Very true.
Why, so then it goes back to the friend.
And
same thing for a man. It's like, hey, if I'm a man and I know for a fact, hey, this girl, I'm cool with her, but I know, hey, if my wife slip up, she ready. But the thing is, then why have her as a friend? You know, why even consider her a friend?
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not saying everybody's like that. That's the thing. We're now saying that means if I walk down the street, I'm ready to fuck. That's basically what you're saying. Every man and woman, like, we just, like, I get we're these animals, but you make it seem like we're wild animals.
We are
uncaged.
So innocent.
Hey, I want to say I have more etiquette than that, just to be like,
okay.
We're hunters, right? Everybody's a hunter.
I am a wild animal. I'm going to admit it. I am a savage.
Okay.
And
you are?
Yes, I am. I am a savage. And the very idea that I can focus all of my energy and she willing to accept all of this savage energy from me, I'm with that. I'm gonna give it to her.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about my chick.
I appreciate your transparency as always.
I'm a savage, bro. And the very premise by which you're standing on, B-Nix, is the very premise that, or the very exact same description that Jada gave as it relates to the friendship aligned with August Alsina, right? And then it turned into a possibility of something else, because as soon as a situation happened or as soon as a circumstance arises, now all of a sudden she just want to feel good. Okay, stop it, bro.
Well, no, but then it goes back to the aspect of like with Will, and I mentioned this earlier. I hated her response, but then it goes back to Will. It's kind of like, well, Will, this is your wife. You know who she is. You know how she acts. We know each other's tendencies in any relationship. So the thing is like, is this acceptable behavior, right? Are you okay with this? And that's something I think we all know. Like, we're not in a relationship. Only they know what they reach, what is their threshold on what they are willing to deal with. And that's specifically.
So let me ask you another question, B-Nix, as it relates to that whole red table talk. Would you be willing to continue the relationship with Jada? Like, would you forgive her and move on and be okay with whatever happened? Like, could you completely let it go and live going forward, knowing what you know?
Can I give two answers?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so my first thought would be the definition of separation, as I guess folks are still kind of tap dancing around that. For me, my definition is that separating when you leave the home, of you have officially, or at least on paper or not on paper, y'all have came to an agreement that you're separated, you're free to roam and do as you see fit. That's not for me to say. So the thing is, I want to say, if you look at Tawana, how she defined it, that, you know what, he wasn't technically cheating, because I define separating mean you're separated. Yeah, we might be married, but we know, and I have been around or have experienced people when they're separated, they're doing their own thing. That's why they're separated. But then I can't necessarily say she's cheating. I would be more upset on the fact that if I'm Will, you got me on national television embarrassing the hell out of me. And even if I cheated, I made sure my business was clean. And you got me on national television. Well, no, streaming. So that means we can watch it anytime. It's just a loop. You got folks making memes, crying face memes about me and my brand that I represent. I put the whole family on my back. I put my children on my back. I got kids that can't even rap, getting rap money. I ain't listening to none of that stuff. I got them selling water, all time. Everybody in the family eating. Hell, even Jada mama making the money off the red table. I didn't even know who the hell she was to the red table. So the fact that I got the whole family on my back on my brand name, the Smiths, not the Pinkets, but the Smiths. That's what they're known as. That you out here embarrassing me, that alone would be the reason why I left. Not because of the cheating, but because you're messy and the way you handle it.
So you saying that you will be gone. In that situation, you will be gone.
But you got to be clear. It was about the situation. Not necessarily cheating, but the situation.
I mean, for whatever the reason is, you don't think you will be able to move forward.
Man, you know what? I think that I'm pretty strong, but I'm not built for a whole nation to just know my business and what happened in my relationship, and just to be able to still be the man. And I'm supposed. Come on, Will damn near motivational speaker at this point. Now I don't even know if I want to listen to anything. Will don't even upload nothing on IG no more. If you notice, got follow Buddy. Buddy don't got nothing enlightening to say to me that's motivational on IG anymore. I don't even want to hear from Buddy. Buddy has nothing that motivates me right now.
If the cheating remains anonymous,
she messed up the brand.
So if no one knew about the cheating besides you and your spouse, you're saying that you could tolerate it. You could possibly stay in a marriage if the secret stayed between you two.
Well, the thing is,
it became public.
Going back to your definition, Tawana, which I was in agreement with, separating means we're separate. So what you did when we were separate, technically, I got no jurisdiction on it. Hell, I don't like it, but technically, did you cheat? Or was I out doing my thing too? All right, cool. And that's why I think that both of them was able to sit at that table without any hands being thrown. Even if Will felt it, he know deep down inside they were separated. So
I disagree, Big Nick, but I'm gonna let Tawana.
You know what? I appreciate it.
I agree. I agree with
I know exactly how you feel about things. You are very black and white. And I never even met you before until these shows. But I know, and you ain't even my friend. You JR buddy. So the thing is, like, just the fact that I appreciate that for me, just to have met you, I know exactly where you stand on things. So I appreciate you being black and white. Because at least I know where you stand on certain issues.
Tawana, what's up? Can you forgive it?
Can I forgive mutual?
Like considering the circumstances.
If
them sitting at that table.
Yes. Can I forgive my husband when I know that we mutually agreed to separate, and he went and he had a relationship that somehow became public to my family, some of my friends that I've moved past? Yes, I can totally forgive a relationship for that. But I don't want to say that if we were married and I had a different perception of, okay, yeah, we're separated, but we are not agreeing, that we want to see other people right now, that we're separating for, to give each other space for some other reasons. I can't say that I wouldn't be upset about it and that I wouldn't have feelings about it, but I'm just saying that I felt that their dynamic was that they both agreed to separate and that it was okay for them to date other people. And I do think that it wasn't cheating for that reason. And I do feel like there's no reason for her to have to explain, like she had a relationship because they separated. It just because it became public that now we're all discussing their business and their lives.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, Buddy was hurt. He was hurt. Y'all thought he was hurt because of the cheating. He's hurt as a man because he's being humiliated. That's a different type of hurt. Them crying memes, that's the fact that he had to sit at the red table after she just had him on there on Father's Day. Think about it. That was just a few weeks ago. He was just up there on Father's Day pouring his heart out about learning how to be a father, and she building this man up. Then he got to come right back in a few weeks and listen to her talk about entanglement. Come on now.
But that's why we need to be careful about who we take relationship advice from and who we mimic and who we idolize. Because at the end of the day, do you really want the dynamic of your relationship to be anything like that? Because honestly, it just seems like they had so much pain that they were hiding. It was uncomfortable to watch that interview. I'm telling you, I saw how Will was like, they were laughing, joking when it was really uncomfortable. They were trying to make light of a really like complicated situation. And I think even me and you, B Nix, talked about it outside of this, like it just reopened wounds that they have to heal again. That they have to go to now they got to come to the red table outside of the show and talk about everything that happened back then, and they got to heal all over again.
Buddy was looking so sad. Like he ain't even had no liner. If y'all ain't noticed, he was looking rough. No liner. He got fresh makeup on, eyeliner. She was looking like she was about to do a photo shoot. Buddy looked like he was in the back balling.
Stop idolizing these people who we think we want to be like. Stop saying that these people are something that we should be aiming toward. Because at the end of the day, you have to see that marriages fail every day. And this is what they chose to do to get through their marriage. And for whatever reason, they feel like, hey, opening it up to other people somehow gives them a close bond. Now, everybody don't agree with that. I damn sure don't, but I'm very traditional in the way I approach marriage. And a lot of people are not traditional now. We got polygamists, we got open marriages, we got all these different types of relationships.
I'm not for that.
So you have to be understanding that everybody is not on the same page when it comes to marriage and, you know, scripture and how the Bible sets up. Everybody doesn't feel that same way. So you definitely.
See, I'm different in that way because, and I know I'm going. I don't know. I know I might have guys feeling some type of way because I've been sticking up for y'all this whole show. But as it relates to being able to forgive and move on, again, I'm very black and white, and I do not believe it's only one reason why I would ever get divorced, and that's if she said she no longer wanted to be there, because I don't believe in holding anybody against their will. But I believe in life. When I say life, that's it. I only plan on doing it one time, so I'm going to do everything I can to make this work. And I just believe in like I think that anything can be worked through, anything can be forgiven. And I'm just going to see it all the way through. When I committed, that was the end of it. I don't believe in divorce ever. My dad never got divorced. Again, I told y'all that's just me. I'm forever. That's it. So for me, I'm rocking. I don't care how much of my pride took a hit. I don't care how wrong she was. I don't care any of that. As far as I care, but I don't care as it relates to it changing the dynamic of what it is that I'm sticking with and how it is that I believe. Like, I'm rocking forever. That's it. It's nothing. It's nothing for me.
That's what Jada and Will believe too, obviously.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm rocking with Will.
Bad marriage for life. That's what they said.
Hey, to each its own. I mean, I think that honestly, nobody has like a perfect relationship, and I think that long as the two people in a relationship, even if it's a homosexual relationship, whatever, as long as those two people are able to be on the same page, or at least able to push through and work out things, then hey, more power to them. But the thing is, if folks not honest, so that's the thing that like, I appreciate, Anton, the fact that you always honest and you transparent and you 100 about your views. The thing is, it would be more of an issue when people aren't honest in relationships and they get hurt because of the fact they have these weird expectations, but has never had a conversation. I mean, sadly, I think people are more inclined, like going back to the friends thing, this goes back to, you know, people are more willing to confide in their friends, these friends that may have their own intentions and agenda, than having this same conversation or relationship. Because if you got a friend and you do talk to them about all the bad stuff that happened in your relationship, if anything, now this is when this indirect invitation comes in, at because now it's like they've seen you vulnerable, they've seen you weak, but yet your mate thinking everything fine. They walking around like y'all got the best marriage. And then next thing you know, you tell them like, man, I'm not really happy. I really never wanted to get married and all this. And then that's when
That's that
somebody, whether
friendship
you're
right
man
there.
or woman, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I see an opportunity. Let me go ahead and continue to make myself available and stay in this space. But I'm going to stay on the sideline. And that's what we've seen even back in the day when we see like folks like men mainly, but women do it too, but they will build whole families outside of the relationship or the marriage they had, because you know what? That person was always there. That's not a new person. That person was just on the sideline the whole time. But the thing is, I can't get mad at that other person. The only person that you could say that has a responsibility to the relationship is the person in the relationship. You can't
You're
necessarily
right.
get
I
mad
agree.
at that person, because technically I have no obligation. You mentioned the same thing, Anton. I have no obligation to anyone else. I'm not trying to impress anyone else. So the thing is, I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to control anybody else. Only thing I'm worried about is this family. So the thing is, if that your mate, your person, definitely y'all not on the same wavelength, or y'all got into it for the wrong reasons, you know what? Shame on both of y'all. Shame on you for wasting my time, or shame on me for actually allowing you to waste my time. I think we always got to choose. We try to tap dance, and I'm being biased, but I'm saying either you got to be man or woman enough to leave, or man or woman enough to stick it out. You can't be both.
B Nix, I don't think you're gonna be able to run for mayor if you keep having these hot takes, bro. Like your hot takes was way hotter than anything I said today.
I think that if you go into a marriage expecting things to go perfectly, and a lot of women and men marry people and be like, okay, when we get married, she gonna do this better, or when they get married, this person's gonna be this person, and they get so confused when you get married, and that person either becomes worse than whatever it is you thought they were doing, or better. And so if you don't go into it with the mentality that Anton just said, that like, I'm just in this for life and this is just what it is, then you're always going to feel like, okay, he didn't meet this thing. I mean, you talking to somebody that's divorced. I feel like I just had disappointment after disappointment. And so I just did exactly what B Nix just said. I walked away. But I think that it's so much power in staying in a relationship and going through those challenging times with somebody and looking back and being like, dang, we went through this together and we got through it. Like, and I'm not saying to stay in toxic situations and to tolerate abuse, or I'm not saying any of those things, but what I'm saying is cheating a deal breaker, or is sleeping with someone outside of your relationship really a deal breaker, or something that you should consider leaving or separating the marriage for? I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like people are human and they make mistakes and they do stupid stuff, and you have to just like understand that you're gonna have so many challenges in marriage, and that's just not one thing that I'm just willing to give up on a marriage about. And so I agree that, you know, Jada and Will may still have some pain that they're dealing with, but at the end of the day, they are still trying to get through life together, and they made a decision that they just gonna fight through it together. And whoever they hurt, whoever they hurt in the end, it's like, it's about us, because our marriage comes before his feelings and his emotions. And that's how you have to look at it. And I know people feel a certain way because they feel like, well, he got hurt in the process and he was mentally this, that, and the third. But Jada also have her issues that she was dealing with. So I feel like at the end of the day, her and Will chose their marriage first. And I don't necessarily got an issue with that.
It's a one I want to ask you this. Is Will protecting the brand? Is he protecting the marriage?
I believe that it's beyond the brand, because I just feel that Will is in a position financially where he does not need to protect himself from like anything. I think that his career, he will have longevity in his career, whether he stay with Will or not. I mean, with Jada or not. I don't believe it's as simple as, oh, I'm just protecting my brand and I want, you know, to make sure that I can set up my future or whatever. I feel like he genuinely feels like, this is the decision I made, this is my partner, and this is what, you know, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work through this. And I think that he has those values, and he feels like, okay, he said on several occasions that he feels like, this is a lifelong partnership and agreement that he's made, and he's willing to stick it out and work through it even when it's challenging. So I agree with that. I don't feel like he's, protecting his brand. That's just my opinion.
What you think, B? Next, you think he protecting the brand or the marriage?
Nah, I don't. I mean, I think the brand is a byproduct of all this, but and we don't know these people personally, but you got to think about just from the snippets of them being in our lives for so long. Like, hey, this is not Will's first marriage. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I hate to say it, going back to, I guess I do watch it on Red Table Talk. He had talked about how he cried over his first marriage, and when he knew that he was in the wrong marriage, and he said he cried off the fact that he realized at that moment when they were out to eat that I don't belong in this marriage. I don't belong with this person. So the thing is, he may look at it like, man, I'm hurt, but I'm not trying. He's also dealing with his own vulnerability too. The fact is that because his first marriage didn't work, he's probably looking at like, I really want this to work. This has to work because already I'm 0 for 1. And the thing is, I don't care who you are, whether you're man or woman, there is like a sense of pride that you have when you get married. It's a vulnerability when you say that, you know what, this one didn't work either. So this is his second one. And the fact he built the whole empire around it. And not really, I'm talking about like finance. I'm talking about family. He got kids, investment in them and grooming them. So the amount of time and effort. But the thing is, that's him. Like Anton mentioned earlier about like, like people growing together. I also feel like, the other aspect of that, people grow apart. And I think that if we look at the tail of the tape of Will Smith, he's been pretty consistent over the years, right? Jada is the one that's kind of the wild card, because we seen her have these moments, not just with the pictures with August Alsina or whatever, but when Pac died, her, pouring out her heart and really like, it's like, man, this is almost like that Will is your husband, not Pac. But the thing is, I think he was even on Breakfast Club, Will Smith talking about it. He like, hell yeah, he was bad, But the thing is, we seen Jada act. I remember she had the little rock band and stuff too. It's like there's been cases where Jada has been like, hey, I think that she's the wild card, not Will. We know exactly what we get into with Will. Will, the Fresh Prince, he's all the same person.
Hey, Nix, I want to ask you this. Hey, hold on. I want to ask you guys.
Jada's the wild card, man. She's been acting out.
Nix, the one. I want to ask you guys this.
Even the fact she don't act. Hold on, man.
Hold on.
She even went to a point where she didn't act. You got to think about it also. Going back to, I hate to say it, Anton, dating up and dating down. Technically, Will's star was rising. Jada was still a star in her own right, but she was not no every summer blockbuster movie actress.
Ain't never been a blockbuster. She ain't been in a blockbuster.
So the thing is, but don't you feel that also she may have felt maybe due to family and kids that maybe she technically took a back seat? Because technically in the acting world, she was the more established person. That. So the thing is, you got to think about also those other dynamics that goes into the professional piece.
Hey, I want to ask you guys this. We understand what Will's stance is. Will wants to stay married. He wants to work it out. He wants to figure it out. Do you guys feel like Jada wants to stick this out, or do you think she wants out?
Like right now, she want to?
Yeah. I mean, right now. I mean,
that's why she came back to Will.
Yeah, I mean, she even said, well, I don't know if she has the courage to actually like leave the relationship. But do you guys really feel like that she wants to be there? That's the question.
She does now.
She did the courage by dating somebody else. I mean, I don't think that she don't have the courage. I feel like she wants to stay married to Will. Yeah. I don't know what she wants to.
But why? But why does she want?
She wants to stay married to the most successful guy that she can get. You mean? Is that what you're saying? That's translation. No, I translated that for you.
I hate when you do that. I was about to translate it for you. Gave rationale. No, but the thing is, because she already did her exploration. She did her field trip. She established a whole relationship.
August, he's a nobody. I mean, he's a somebody. He's a somebody, but he's not on Will Smith.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, I noticed.
Let's not discredit Jada. Okay.
But you know what?
She set it off.
No,
She
we're
was
not
in
discrediting her.
Can I
But we're
say
not
Go
something?
Down Dirty Shame.
Can I
She
say
was
something?
like
Those
Jada
are
got
not every summer movies. Those not blockbuster every 4th of
We're
July.
not talking about the movies. We're talking about whether she want to be there or not.
Right
I
now,
believe-
yes.
Well, he's saying for opportunity, and I disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying for opportunity. I'm saying she wants to be there, but not for opportunity. But the thing is,
Well, why she want to be there, Nix? Talk to her. Why she want to be there? Let's talk. Let's talk. Why she want to be there?
They have 2 children. They have a family. They are
The kids grown.
now.
They grown now. So the kids grown. Why she want to be there?
You know
They
why?
will always be family.
Go
You know
ahead,
why?
Nix.
Because nobody's honest about this part. But the thing is, I don't care whether you've been in a relationship for like a year or 20 and 40 and 60 years. One of the things Jada mentioned, I keep bringing up, she said she wanted to feel good, right? And the thing is, going back to human nature, and I think Anton mentioned about being animals, she actually acted on that thought. The fact is that she still wanted to explore to see whether, like, you know, hey, I want to be single. I think that nobody has ever been in a relationship and they haven't had that one thought and said, like, man, I wonder what it would be like to be single again. And the thing is, when they separated, she had
Me?
the
I haven't.
opportunity. No,
I feel like
I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking. Wait,
I've never had
give me
that
30
thought.
seconds. Well, you know what? I forgot, Anton. You ain't I don't, you know what? You a different breed,
Come
bro.
on now,
I don't even know where you
Anton.
from, bro. But the
I've
thing is,
never
like,
had that thought.
okay, thank you for sharing that. But
Hey.
for
Thank
everyone else that's normal, for everyone
Exactly.
else that's normal, there has been, I said a thought. I didn't say we actually done it, but there's been a thought that, like, hey, man, you know, I remember when I was single. I don't think that, and that's normal too, just to be honest about that. But the thing is, she had her opportunity when they were separated to see exactly what it would be like not to be married. And the thing is, guess what happened? It ended. And I think that she actually got that out of her system. She said about, you can think about what she said. She talked about this journey, about finding herself, and about go. She did all that.
You want me to
when
translate
they
that for you?
separated. You know, not yet. Just
I'm a translator for you.
no, just keep it in the chain, but don't do it right now.
We don't need to hear that. Opportunist.
No, I'm a translate what the journey means. When I found myself, that means that this is the translation. I messed up because I forgot where the bag was. This is where I need to be because this is the winner circle. I temporarily stepped out of the winner circle, and now I realize what a beta male looks like that likes to pillow talk, and he talks about things on the album rollout. That's what that means.
All right, man.
That's what
You
it
think
means.
that Jada will not be, so you think that if she leaves Will, that she will be destitute? You don't think this is Michael Jordan and his wife situation where she left with half of his assets and she's good for the rest of her life? Like, what don't you understand about Jada does not need Will?
We don't know what kind of prenuptial agreement
The
that
thing
Will
is,
got.
Jada.
We don't know what that looked like.
Well, going back to my definition of journey, the thing is, she had the opportunity to explore, to actually build this whole relationship with somebody. And the thing is, I think that, you know what, she went through it, acted on her thoughts, and actually put it into action. And you know what? It's not what she thought that she wanted. And the thing is, I think even the fact that Will said, like, hey, I thought this was it. I thought we were going to be divorced. But guess what? They're together now. So the thing is, to that point being said, in a way, reading between the lines of both of them, I think that they're both in it for the long run. The thing is,
Right.
It's always bumpy. And the thing is, it's normal. That's the thing. I almost want to say counsel people or try to tear down people when one thing bad happens. Things happen, good and bad in a relationship. But then this really comes down to, like, hey, what's y'all relationship really about? When things get bad, like, do y'all just quit? Be like, hey, I'm done. It's over. Or do y'all try to stick it out? And that's the thing. And I think in 2020, folks quit too easy. Everybody always is quick to quit a relationship. Like, I'm done. Because they don't want to deal with
what it is that you're saying. I think all of the moral stuff and everything, but when it comes back down to it, I think that we're neglecting and we're not having a conversation based off of something that's really important. Is that a lot of women are opportunistic.
Hey, I don't live by that creed, man. You know,
It's the
you
truth.
that's
I
what
know
we
it hurts you,
that's what we
Tawana.
split every time, man. You do this every time.
They
Everything
are,
ain't
bro.
everything not about money, bro. It's not.
Agree with you.
The bag don't make you happy, man. It's temporary.
Jada is set
You know what
without
the
women.
bag do?
What
You
it
know
do,
what the
man?
bag do?
What it do? What it do?
It give you options. It give you options, bro.
Yeah, but not long-term options though. Short term, yes.
Yes,
Long
it
term,
do.
no.
No. Listen, if I cry at night
Go ahead,
tonight,
school me, man. Put me on the game, then, man.
I seriously. If I cry at night tonight, it's okay because I know when I wake up in the morning, I got another opportunity because my bank account is still looking flush. It's a difference. But when people cry and they know that there is nothing left at the end of the road, it's a different type of cry, bro. Listen, the broke cry and the rich cry is two different cries. That's the truth. Even the middle rich cry is different than the rich cry. Like the opportunities is still available on the other side. When you get canceled from a show, and what was that guy's name that got canceled? It was like I forgot
Nick
what his
Cannon.
name was.
Nick Cannon.
Not see Nick. No, not Nick Cannon. It was a guy that was like he was like on a doctor, like a Grey's Anatomy or something like that, and he had got canceled a while back.
Isaiah Washington.
Yeah, his cry
When he
is a
used the term
different type
faggot.
of cry because like he's not there, like he's not balling. You know what I'm saying? His cry and Kobe's getting canceled cry was a different type of cry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole nother dynamic. And if we don't even want to acknowledge that money played a magnificent role in these relationships and women choosing whether or not they still want to play a role. 50% of marriages end off of money. Money is the biggest issue within marriages. If we don't want to acknowledge that plays a role in women's deciding whether or not they want to stick around, then I don't know what it is that we're talking about. That makes a difference.
That proves the very opposite. That proves that people marry even when they having financial difficulties and they stick through it, and then ultimately maybe the financial burdens overpower the relationship, and then relationships end. I do not agree that women are opportunists because women. So you're telling me a self-sufficient, independent woman who takes care of herself is only wanting to be with a man because of what he has?
Wait. Are we identifying Jada Pinkett as a self-sufficient, independent woman?
Absolutely. She had a career before she met Will.
Hey man, hey, I ain't got no words. Hey, JR, hey man, you know it's that time. Hey, hey, JR.
No.
Hey, it's time, bro.
Skip over this.
Don't have me go there.
Hey,
Hey,
man,
JR.
she can't help it. She can't help it right now. She's trying to
we
defend.
not gonna act like
Hey, where's
that.
the wrap it up clock, man? Hey, JR, man.
No,
Go on and do
bro.
your thank you for tuning in to Lapeef.
Listen, bro. There is a clear difference between Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. The names hold two different weight. She ain't there. She's there as it relates to Will. Like I said, Jada Pinkett could be any one of these chicks. She could be Nia Long. She could be Nia Long. It's only one Will Smith. It could be a lot of different Smiths as it relates to the one that came along with it.
Hey, why you gonna
That's
discount you? But you discounting both of them as if like, cause I mean, like they just like the only thing they got going for them is money. Like if it weren't for money, then
no, we saying that money matters and it makes a difference as to whether or not a woman decides that she want to be in a relationship.
Yeah, but not the way you said it. I hate the way that you articulate things, Anton.
You don't like the fact that I'm being absolutely honest.
You always put your own twist on it. Yeah, it's about money, but not the way in which you said it.
The way.
No,
yes,
it's
the
not.
way.
Well, you know what?
If Will Smith was John Q, then that dynamic might go significantly different. You know it, bro.
Hey, wrap this one up, JR.
Tell me I'm
Hey, Tawana, you was about to say something. What was you about to say?
You're absolutely wrong. 100% wrong.
Anton always wrong, man. I ain't never met Buddy. Buddy always wrong, man.
He's putting too much emphasis on money. What is
No,
the
I'm not.
issue?
Y'all not putting enough emphasis on it.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Because there's other dynamics that play a part and there's other decisions that need to be made in order to form a partnership. And trust me, two millionaires don't just stay together because they both
I
got
wouldn't
money.
say she was a millionaire. I would have said she was
I'm
100,000
just
maybe.
saying that I'm not saying that Jada's a millionaire. But what I'm saying is every dynamic doesn't work just because the other person has money and control over the situation.
Well,
That is not true. There's
Actually,
other things that play a part that make the relationship successful. And they've been together 23 years. You're discounting everything that they have been through, 2 children.
But guess what? Though?
Business ventures.
He been rich for over 23 years though. He been rich for over 23 years. Like that matters. Like he ain't just come up.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I don't know nothing about that world. I mean, you might be right, Anton. I don't know. Like it make relationships might be different when you got that type of money. So I'm just speaking for.
Hey, that's like another podcast right there.
No, I won't be on it because I can't relate. I can't relate. I just started like,
man. It's a different perspective though.
Bro, I still buy pre-owned cars, G. Like I can't even drive nothing off the lot right now, and I work every day. Obviously, I don't need to be on a call if y'all talking about money. I need to be in the audience, in the chat.
No, it's not money. It's about women and honestly looking in the mirror and saying, I'm out. Look.
Set this up right now.
No, don't set it up. Hey, just next show, JR. Like I ain't.
Look. Let me get my last statement.
Because I'm going in.
All right. Final thoughts for everybody. Final thoughts.
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I want women to look in the mirror. Jada gave y'all a very, very good reason to. And look in the mirror and say, you know what? What am I putting these men through? Am I what I'm supposed to be? Am I meeting expectations? Am I paying attention to what I'm doing to the brand? Because she seriously devalued the brand. Like her role in this whole situation was absolutely trash. I don't think that women are truly holding her to the same standard because y'all want equal rights, equal opportunity, all of this. Like, we want all of that. Why y'all want the same smoke that y'all hold men to? For some reason, I see so many women in all of these threads and comments really like every single thing that they do is validated by, well, men been doing it for years. So that says that she was supposed to do the wrong thing. Like, why are we not holding people accountable accordingly as individuals? As an individual, she trash. She not even that bad. And I'm gonna just end this like this. August Alsina is the most trash beta male that I have ever met in my entire life. That I don't even want to talk. I'm not even in the month of August. I might do 0 podcasts, bro. I don't like him. I don't like him, bro.
Hey, Tawana, final thoughts.
I think that for so long, the narrative has been that men are the only ones who step out in their relationships, who are, cheating. And so to a certain degree, I feel like, yes, that has been the consensus among everybody, that men are the ones that cheat, men are the ones that step out, men are the ones that have these extramarital relationships. And then it's so important to see that women also have this, these feelings of unhappiness. They step out, they do these things in a marriage. And so now you start to see this dynamic and you start to see people be honest about it. And I think that what's most important, we just need to understand that sometimes when people are hurt, they hurt other people. And sometimes people, are human. They go through these emotions. They step outside of their marriage, and then people decide to stay together. And I think that we can't judge any person's marriage based on our views or our perceptions or our morals and values surrounding marriage. Everyone has their own ideas about what they're comfortable with and what's acceptable to them. And so that's the most important thing that I learned from this. And I feel that, Will and Jada decided to make it work throughout this. So I can't do anything but respect that.
Appreciate that. Hey, next with final thoughts.
I got 2 comments. well, two phrases. I guess I want to say like my pops always say that it's bigger than you, right? So the thing is, I always look at like everything in life, or even specifically for a relationship, is bigger than you. Every action that takes place in your life has an impact, good and bad. So the thing is, for anybody in a relationship, and if you're serious about it, it's really about really ensuring that the actions you take, what type of impact that's going to have on your family or the people in your relationship, whoever's part of the relationship. Think about the impact, because every decision will have an impact. So the thing is, second phrase would be, hey, respect the brand. I know that I'm not necessarily, I don't got the type of bag that Will and Jada got, but the thing is, it's still a brand of what every couple represents. So the thing is, if your brand is the fact that, hey, you're going to do you and I'm going to do me, cool, that's your brand. Hey, if y'all going to roll up every night, cool, that's your brand. If y'all go on trips together, cool, that's your brand. But the thing is, you got to respect the brand. But if you don't know what the brand is for your relationship, and then y'all need to actually have a conversation. Because the thing is, if one person is representing this and you got somebody else that's a wild card, that's a loose end, that's doing something else, that's not following the blueprint, then it may be time to actually explore severing ties. So I really want to say it's bigger than you, and you got to respect the brand.
I can agree with that 100%.
All right, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Lapeef, let's talk. This episode is also going to be uploaded to YouTube within the next couple of days. Please make sure that you guys like, subscribe, and share. And whether this was staged or not, whether this if we can relate to it or not, I think we can all learn something from it. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. And I appreciate Anton, Tawana, and B Nix. You guys definitely shed some light on a lot. And I just appreciate you guys. Until next time, we out.
Bye, Anton. Bye, V Nick.
See you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys later.